young Cesc Fabregas at Barcelona. His dreams there. He leaves and goes to Arsenal. How? Why?
I was 15, and I was the captain of that team, and I was well valued. On top of me, there was Iniesta. There was other players that you could see they had a lot of potential to make it, and then one day a guy came, a scout from Arsenal, to talk to my parents, and he wanted to discuss a few things with me, and I always like to listen. Even now, or 5 years ago or so, I always listen to what people have to say after you made your own mind, or just for respect, out of respect, and I think we did that, and the guy told me that he came to see me over 50 times, and he said that I was made to play for Arsenal and the Premier League. And I'm like, well, I'm just 15, it's impossible to know that because I'm so young. But then the guy started showing me everything that he studied from my game. He called Arsene Wenger to take me to London Colney and David Dean to talk to me and make me an offer, show me the training ground. And at that time I had Man United as well. And I was supposed to make 2 trips, like London and Manchester, a month later going to Manchester. And when I went to London Colney, and it was the middle of June, everyone was on holiday. Arsene Wenger was in Paris for holiday. He flew private jet to meet me.
Wow.
David Dean came to the London Colney to meet me, and I was like, this shocked me in a way, like, wow, Arsene Wenger, I'm 15 years old, I'm absolutely nobody, and this guy is breaking up his holiday to come and meet me, like this for me was like, wow. And then, we were talking, and he spoke to my mother, and what did he like when he was little, showed me the training ground, and I just fell in love. I fell in love with the whole project, with the whole thing. It was a beautiful day in London. They tricked me.
I think when people show you attention to detail and they show that they've studied you and they've given a lot of time and effort to you, if you're that type of person, you resonate to that and you give back to that, don't you? You feed off
Definitely. That meant a lot to me. And to be honest, I just made my decision and I just went for it.
Who was the most influential player while you was there at that young age then, in terms of, like, I know you said you went for dinner with Gilberto, etc., but who really who helped you in terms of helping you mold into a captain? You're now a captain as well, and maybe gave you pointers on how to conduct yourself, training, application, etc., then details on a daily basis.
If I have to say one in particular, maybe Patrick, because he was also my position. And even if I was 16, like sometimes you can feel a bit threatened as a player, like someone, even if I was nobody, but sometimes you just feel, I'm going to show him, since day one that I'm the boss. And he did actually, and that helped me in terms of training. But outside, he was fantastic, like telling me, maybe you should work on this, or put your body this way, or when I come from behind, always look, stuff like this. That is like, wow, this guy is a proper legend.
We always have this big argument with my friends, I'm sure everyone does, in terms of the best midfielders in the Premier League history. Take you out of the equation, who would be your guy? Like Patrick, obviously Vieira, you've got Roy Keane, Frank Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, Silva, De Bruyne now. Who would be your main guy?
I have to say that since I was little, I had this with me about this thing about Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard was someone that, don't ask me why, in my hometown when we used to watch every Sunday the highlights of the Premier League and stuff, he used to score these screamers, from outside the box and running into space, and he used to be everywhere, and with that number 17 that he was wearing, and I used to look up to him a lot, to be honest. But in terms of maybe the way I play and the way that I could say I love the way this guy played, because it reminds me a little bit of myself and the way I see football and I like football, is Paul Scholes. I mean, you had the privilege to play with him like 44 years, and I don't know, you will tell me better, but what a player. I mean, he loves 1-2s. He was right, he was left, he always demanded the ball, he had the long ball on the space, he had short, he was always,
Just to go on that point here, when you used to receive the ball off one of the defenders, like for instance, me as a centre-back, playing you the ball, and you receive the ball on the half turn and you face the game. What are you looking for then? What is your first port of call? Is it a short 5-10 yarder, or are you wanting someone up front like a Thierry to make movements for you to play a lot?
My first thought in that moment is look forward. Once the defender or the midfielder, the opponent, whatever you want, allowed me that second to look forward, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. If that, and then you have to have the capacity to understand if the striker is making the move, if he wants the ball on the feet, if you have a good understanding where he feels or he makes it look like he's doing nothing, but then he goes behind and you just play it. Then if you see that he's not in right position, you play between the lines to the number 8 or to the winger that's coming inside, whatever. But yeah, my first thought always going forward.
It's crazy because you talk about young players watching the game and do they watch enough football? Because I used to watch you play, and every time we'd play against Arsenal, especially, normally I'd get the video and watch the striker. So I'd watch Thierry or Dennis or whoever it was at the time, Robin, and I wouldn't really watch a midfielder, but I'd get clips of you as well, because I knew that a lot of the time when you get the ball, you wanted to pass forward through the lines to the strikers, and I used to want to see if there was a connection. Once you took a touch, if they moved off a certain point, and it was all in the detail. And because you would always wanted to pass forward, that's why I've never asked you that question before. I wanted to know this. It rung true to me. That's how I used to see it. You used to want to play forward as early, as quick as possible, which is for a defender is a nightmare.
So how do you see it? Because I always wondered when I have this little second to look forward, and I play with the likes of Thierry, let's say Adebayor or Theo Walcott, Diego Costa. When they make the move and I know, wow, I'm getting that ball right for him to score, do you, as you said, you have to read it, you have to know who you're playing against. Yeah. And if you play, like, let's say against a player like now who's on fire, let's say Kevin De Bruyne, that he's always also looking for that ball and he's very good at it. As a defender, definitely you need to know who you play against, no?
Do you know, I used to do, if you got the ball, it depended how far away he was. If he was on the halfway line and inside my half especially, as soon as you received the ball, even before you've taken the touch, I would try and nudge the striker. Okay. So he takes his concentration away a little bit. What are you doing? The ball's not here. Yeah. Or I would take a step back. Okay. So once your head came up and you could see me, you saw I'm 2, 3, 4 yards deeper. You're not going to play it over the top because there's no space.
Yes, correct.
And you'll play to his feet, and then I could get tight. But I would try and play those games, and it's difficult. Like you said, you have to know your players. One, I tried to cheat with Xavi in the Champions League final. We was chasing the game, and he was crossing the ball, and I thought he can't get it over my head. No chance. It's going to have to be the perfect ball. So I cheated and stood a little bit more to the front post. Messi back post header. His only header he's ever scored. But crazy.